A mother, relieved after finally getting her baby to sleep, gently placed him in his crib. Exhausted, she glanced at the baby monitor footage on her phone, but what she saw next sent chills down her spine. Although we don't see it, it's obvious that behind her in the video, a shadowy figure seemed to be following her as she laid her baby down. Heart racing, she spun around, but no one was there. Her mind raced, trying to rationalize it. A glitch, maybe. But the image was clear, and the eerie figure behind her was unmistakable. Though she tried to shake it off, the unsettling moment lingered, leaving her wondering if it really was just a trick of the monitor or something far more sinister. In the dead of night, while the world slept, a baby lay peacefully in his crib, unaware of the danger looming above. Outside, an ancient oak tree, weakened by time and weather, gave way. Its roots tore from the earth, and with a thunderous crash, the tree collapsed directly onto the house. Branches and debris broke through the roof, sending shards of wood dangerously close to the sleeping infant. Startled by the noise, the parents scrambled out of bed, their hearts pounding. The mother, wide-eyed with terror, raced toward the nursery, screaming, "Oh my God," over and over. They feared the worst, but as they reached the crib, they found their baby miraculously unharmed, narrowly spared from disaster.
God, oh my God, oh my God, Tail! Where's Tail? Oh my God. Hey, hey! Oh my God! Help! Oh my God! The window! Oh my God!
Imagine being a parent and turning in your sleep only to see a demon-like face staring at your baby's crib. This chilling video left even non-believers in the paranormal unsettled. Some speculate it might be a mask or edited footage, but others insist it could be a sleep demon.
Ayo, something traumatic happened that changed my life. Check.
It's not uncommon for babies to fall off their beds, but this particular fall was alarming. The baby twisted and turned restlessly, teetering at the edge of the bed before finally tumbling off. He hit the floor hard, landing face first. The loud, pained cry that followed sent waves of panic through the house. The parents rushed to his side, fearing the worst. Thankfully, there was no injury, just a moment of fright. The relief must have been overwhelming, but the image of the fall remained unsettling, a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. The shocking thing in this footage is the action of the mother and the corresponding reaction of the toddler. As the mom walks into the room, she hurriedly places her baby in her crib despite the baby's reluctance. After that, the woman proceeded to pick up her phone and directly strut out of the room, ignoring her child. She shut the door behind her, but the baby wasn't done. She acrobatically climbed out of the crib and followed right after her mom. The question is, why would she leave her baby just like that when the baby wasn't even sleepy? And to think she shut her alone in the room. In another video, captured by a baby monitor, a restless child, tired of being confined to her crib, made a bold attempt to escape. Determined, she pulled herself up and with one fluid motion, let herself fall over the edge. But the landing was far from graceful. It was a brutal drop to the floor. There was a moment of silence before the inevitable cry, leaving everyone watching hoping she was okay. It showed quickly these little adventurers can get into trouble, despite their innocent intentions. A couple got an alert on their baby monitor and the mother went to check it out. What did she find? A giant spider pacing around like an angry predator waiting for its prey. They probably won't use that room for their baby unless they're ready to take cleaning to a whole other level. In this next video, posted by a concerned mother, we see a baby sleeping peacefully in his crib. But is it really peaceful, or is something extraordinary going on? Watch closely as a single light orb keeps moving and forth as it hovers around the baby. What is it? A reflection? Or poltergeist activity? Okay, now this is extremely creepy. This video shows a child lying in bed, sleeping. Everything seems calm until the baby begins to move. The problem is there's no one else in the room, and she's moving so unnaturally as if being pulled out of bed. We're convinced that she's really being pulled when she lands helplessly on the floor and continues sliding backwards all the way out of the room. You can hear the fear in her voice as she calls out to her father.
Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Ever heard of the monster beneath the bed? This next clip would scare the crap out of anyone if they were in the same room. It shows a young child lying belly flat on the rug, writing while humming and singing happily to herself. Suddenly, what initially looks like fingers show from under the bed. The whole figure then comes out, and it is definitely not a hand. The figure snatches the girl so fast it is impossible to follow its movement. He drags the girl under the bed. The aftermath is still a mystery. Parents do not usually believe when their kids tell them what they see. Worse still when the kid is still a baby. A couple installed a camera in their baby's room to monitor him, and what occurred one night left them in utter confusion. The baby is seen sleeping when he suddenly jerks up. Wide awake now, he looks in a certain direction before bursting out crying. Then, as if he's seen a ghost, he scrambles out of bed in a hurry and bolts towards the door. His voice keeps increasing as he opens the door and runs out. He definitely saw something, but what? Now, what this video shows has nothing to do with the paranormal, but it's just as scary. We see a baby hanging off his crib, like dried out laundry, only he is trying to get out of the crib. The baby cam shows him trying unsuccessfully for a few seconds, and then throwing caution to the wind, he lets himself fall, But the problem is, he falls headlining, hitting his head hard on the table. But he shakes it off like nothing happened and walks right out. This mom finally puts her baby to sleep and decides to place him where he belongs, in the crib. But what she didn't expect was to fall into the crib herself. Luckily, she caught her balance before going all in. Can you imagine what would have happened had she fallen directly on the baby? Baby monitors are known to pick up frequencies, but this particular monitor seems to be doing way too much. Mr. Burpee hears a strange lullaby coming from his baby monitor. Even when he tries to change frequencies, it continues. So he walks into his baby's room, and what? The room is completely quiet, and aside from his baby, there's no one in the room. So where's the lullaby coming from? An intruder has been caught on a baby cam breaking into a home and exposing himself to a woman and her son while they slept. Police said the man broke into the home in Layton City, Utah, in the early hours of Monday morning. Footage captured on the baby cam showed the intruder walking carefully around the bedroom as the woman's 8-month-old son slept in a crib nearby. Police said the man exposed himself while standing next to the crib and the woman's bed just a few feet away. Here's another chilling new video showing a burglar breaking into a Bronx bedroom where a 2-month-old baby was sleeping. The suspect broke into the apartment on West 236th Street in Riverdale through the fire escape just after 8 o'clock last Friday night. He rummaged around the room but left when he heard the baby's father. He stole a couple of things, but police say the baby was unharmed. A mom was freaked out after seeing an image of her sleeping child captured by the baby monitor. In the picture, the baby is seen sleeping, but there's another baby sleeping right beside him. Any mother would go into a panic attack at this point. Upon further investigation, it was found that the supposed baby was actually a mattress protector poster of a baby. On closer inspection, her fear was valid though, as in that emergency situation, no one would think of a poster. The footage begins like any other night in a quiet nursery. A baby lies in the crib, wrapped in white clothes, peacefully asleep. Then, the baby starts to move, shifting as if in discomfort. The movements become more frantic, almost as if something is wrong, though the room remains empty.
I don't know, baby. Where's Everest?
As you look closer, something strange emerges from the shadows, a pale, ghostly face near the corner of the crib. At first, it's barely noticeable, but soon it becomes clear. The face, hollow-eyed and expressionless, seems to be watching the baby. Is it really another face, or just a trick of the light?
Looks like she's digging a hole to get out.
The unsettling image raises more questions than answers. Could it be an innocent reflection, or something more chilling? Perhaps a presence caught on camera. No one can say for sure, but the eerie scene lingers, leaving a mystery that haunts the viewer long after the footage ends.
My baby sister's awake.
It was a quiet night in Texas, and a family had settled in, believing they were safe. Their 2-year-old child slept peacefully in the nursery, completely unaware of the danger that had crept into their home. An intruder had broken in, moving silently through the hallways until he reached the child's room. There he loitered around the crib, watching the baby sleep.
Was walking around checking out their sleeping baby. The parents never knew somebody was there until they looked at the surveillance video. Is that not shocking? The 2-year-old's father says that he was sick to his stomach when he saw this.
The parents were oblivious until the next morning when they reviewed their home surveillance footage. Their hearts sank as they saw the intruder standing over their child's crib, his face illuminated by the camera. The father's stomach turned as he saw the man smirk at the camera and mutter something like, "I'm here, don't care," before continuing his invasion. The family alerted authorities, who are now searching for the man. The confidence and disregard shown by the burglar leave the family shaken, haunted by what might have happened if he hadn't left.
The dad says that the burglar knew he was being recorded because he looked at the camera and said something like, "I'm here, don't care." Police are now looking for the suspect.
This next video is just unbelievable. On a regular night, this baby is sleeping peacefully on her bed with the sheets covering her when, all of a sudden, she gets pulled backwards and off the bed. The problem is there's no one else in the room, so how did she move like that? A father captured what he claims is a chilling moment when his toddler was seemingly pulled under the bed by a ghost. The footage, taken from a camera in the child's bedroom, shows the little girl playing at the end of her bed. At 11:37 p.m., according to the video timestamp, an unsettling event occurs. The video has since garnered nearly 8 million views. In it, the toddler gets off the bed, crawls to the end, and suddenly becomes panicked. She cries out for her mother as her legs disappear from view. In a heart-stopping moment, a mother witnessed something that would make any mother freak out. She is seen in the living room with her toddler who is playing around, when suddenly, the toddler gets pushed over by someone or something. Again, there's no one but the two of them in the room, so what happened? Did the baby get pushed over by a ghost, or is she possessed? In this video, a crawling baby is seen in the doorway, staring up at his dad. His hands suddenly give way and he lands directly on his face. You'd think the fall was just one of those involuntary moments, but notice how the baby looks back as if to see someone. That leaves questions hanging in the air. In this video, a parent is looking at the baby monitor while their baby tries to fall asleep, but something quite creepy happens. A few seconds in, while the baby is still awake and moving, its beloved teddy bear starts moving on its own. The parents claim they haven't manipulated anything and insist this actually happened. Could the teddy bear near the baby be possessed? Who knows, but this is probably one of the creepiest moments you could experience when suddenly witnessing something paranormal near your baby. This family in Highland, Michigan, shared the story of a man who had lived in their house before them and died by jumping out of a window. Since then, they've had several terrifying experiences. One night, their 15-month-old baby woke up after a transparent figure walked by her crib, which was captured on camera. The parents, terrified by the footage, were also scratched by the ghost multiple times and eventually called in a paranormal team. Unfortunately, the team couldn't do anything about the situation, and the family decided it was better to move as they could no longer sleep. In 2015, a small family settled into their tranquil Springfield home, cherishing the serenity of their suburban life. However, their peace was shattered when their house was invaded twice within just 6 months. The intruder was caught on the baby monitor, roaming through the house with an unsettling calmness and taking nothing. During one of these intrusions, the man's behavior grew increasingly eerie.
He opened the door and walked through the nursery. Seconds later, the door closes behind him, spooking the man.
The door closed behind the intruder, startling him, and he fled through a second-story window, leaving behind an unnerving mystery. The family's sense of security was forever altered by the haunting events that unfolded in their once peaceful home.
You can see him run to the window and bang on it several times until it broke and then jump out.
The second-story window he escaped from is facing the street.
He took a tablet, dropped it on the roof, and fled.
The Castillo family wants the man to know if he returns to smile, because the cameras are rolling. In Springfield, Zach Lajway, Channel 4, the local station.
Skeptics might brush off strange lights or sounds as technical glitches, but a Houston couple faced a chilling reality that shattered their sense of security. For weeks, they had noticed odd noises and unexplained disturbances around their toddler's room, but they dismissed them as inconsequential. That changed one night when they heard a man's voice clearly coming from the baby monitor. Horrified, they discovered that an intruder had hacked into the device, using it to watch and speak to their child.
Sound asleep about midnight. All of a sudden I heard, it sounded like a man's voice, but I was so asleep I wasn't sure. About the time I saw it moving, I also heard a voice again start screaming at my daughter. He was screaming, wake up baby, and then just a long screaming at her.
The horror was compounded by the fact that their toddler, who was deaf, couldn't hear the voice or understand the threat. This disturbing breach not only exposed their child to a disturbing presence, but also highlighted a critical issue: the need for robust security measures for all internet-connected devices.
I guess trying to wake her up.
And then it screamed at me.
What did it say?
Just some bad things. Yeah, some obscenities. Yeah. So I went and unplugged the camera.
I was just absolutely shocked to see that somebody could get into my house that easily.
In this next clip, what this CCTV was set up to monitor a toddler's activities in the house, and the IT captured on the 16th of September 2016, will really leave you shocked to the bone. A little girl is playing there, and you have to admit it's a really cute sight. However, the cute part ends when her doll, which is sitting next to her, suddenly moves slightly backwards and seems to tilt its head sideways. However, the kid doesn't notice anything unusual and continues to be okay. On September 20th, things were about to get ugly as the little girl was seen again, seemingly doing her homework. Suddenly, the papers to her left moved as if thrown down by a hand. The girl immediately took to her heels. She then walked back again, perhaps to confirm what she just saw, but that was a mistake on her part as the papers began to flutter like crazy before falling to the ground. Things fell off the table, and before long, the table itself began to move on its own. Yep, there are ghosts, all right. A 3-year-old boy repeatedly told his parents about ghosts in his room, but they dismissed his claims. When they finally set up a baby monitor, they were shocked to see a ghostly light around the baby. Ghostly, because it moved unnaturally. Could it be a spirit taking care of the child? Another video shows an unexplained light hovering above children's beds, visible only through the baby monitor. On a closer look, it doesn't seem like just any light, it looks more like a humanoid figure. According to the parents, the light would disappear when viewed in person, which adds another layer of intrigue to the story. The figure leaves for a moment, then returns. After that, it keeps moving back and forth like it's watching over the baby. In a split second, a nightmare unfolded for the Renaud Fayola family. The serene backdrop of their Seattle home shattered with a violent explosion, a boiler's catastrophic failure that seemed almost apocalyptic. The initial blast, a deafening roar of destruction, was captured in excruciating detail by the family's nanny cam. The frame-by-frame footage reveals the sheer force of the explosion, sending debris hurtling through the air and triggering a cacophony of alarms.
It's a nightmare for so many homeowners. The boiler explodes. Just look at the blast in slow motion. The air is dense with debris, and you can hear alarms going off. The explosion was caught on the family's nanny cam.
Another nanny cam, positioned in a different room, recorded the aftermath. The piano, jolted by the blast, slammed shut with a heavy thud. Amid the chaos, the brave nanny throws caution to the wind, sprinting through the house in a desperate bid to save the child under her care. Her courage, amid the devastation, is really one to admire.
Captures this. The piano slams shut from the force of the explosion. Then you can see the brave nanny running through the house to save the child in her care.
The focal point of this catastrophe was the basement playroom, a cherished space where Renaud Fayola's young children, including their 2-year-old daughter Lily, spent countless joyful hours. The basement's ruin is palpable, remnants of what once was now scattered debris. Dark smudges on the walls and scattered nails bear silent testimony to the violent eruption.
In the explosion at the home outside Seattle is the basement playroom where 2 little ones spend so much of their time. This video of one of the kids was shot in the playroom the same day as the horrific blast.
On a quiet night, a baby was asleep in his crib, watched by a baby monitor, when something terrifying happened. A dark mass or mist could be seen hovering past the crib before coming up and looking directly at the child. The child's parents believe it's not human, and from the way it just hovers past the crib, they may not be wrong.
Late one night, a baby monitor watching a sleeping child inside its crib captures something terrifying. A dark mass can be seen hovering past the crib before suddenly rising up above it and looking down at the child. The parents are 100% sure that this wasn't human.
This next clip is something that, as a parent, you wouldn't want to happen to your child no matter what. This lively baby was playing as any child would. Then he moved forward, as if to take a closer look at something. All of a sudden, he fell back on his back hard, the same way a person would fall after being pushed. If he'd fallen on his butt, it might not have drawn attention, but falling uncontrollably in his back is a different matter entirely. There have been guesses, and the most dominating are those of ghosts. this child's mother posted a video, and she doesn't know what to make of it. She was in the same room as her son when, out of nowhere, he began to cry. It wasn't until watching the footage that she was left disturbed.
The child's mother had posted the following video, as she doesn't know what to make of it. She was in the same room as her son when, out of nowhere, he began to cry. It wasn't until watching the footage that she was left disturbed. The mother writes, "I'm still trying to figure out if the camera glitched or something pushed my baby. This is what was caught."
In the video, we see that the child all of a sudden disappears from the camera's view. It appears that he was forcefully pushed over. The question, though, is who or what exactly pushed him over? The cradle in the back continues to swing as the child vanishes from the frame, suggesting that this wasn't a glitch. If it was, then the swing would have skipped a frame, just like the child had. But, as you can see, not a single frame is skipped. This next clip shows incredibly eerie footage of a baby and his crib. Usually, that is a cute sight to behold, except this one is not cute at all. In fact, it's very creepy, to say the least. The problem is that this baby is doing something that should not be possible for a baby to do. Even an adult will have a hard time doing it. The footage shows the baby balancing steadily on his crib with his arms stretched out. In the video, you can see his eyes glowing like two torches. It's clearly not a normal situation. Then, all of a sudden, he falls back on the mattress, pushed off by an invisible force.
Booth's parents felt when they saw the nanny cam video. First, he climbs up the side of his crib, then does the impossible, steadying himself on the top rail for a remarkable 22 seconds before falling backwards onto the mattress.